Hi, my name is Brant Phillips. I'm a real estate investor. I'm also author of a book that's called the Private Lender Playbook, if you can see that there. And, what you're about to watch is basically Private Lending Basics 101. If you're on this page, I assume that you're interested in learning how to passively and safely invest in real estate as a private mortgage lender. So encourage you to watch the video in full. Let me know. My contact information will be at the end too. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to me directly. And if you'd like to get a copy of my book, if you watch this video, you will learn how you can get a free copy of this book. And also, if you like what you're watching, I appreciate if you hit the like button and subscribe button. That means a lot to me. And you'll also get additional information and other resources and things that can help you along in your investing or lending pursuits in the future. So thanks for coming to the page and to my channel. I hope you enjoy this presentation of Private Lending Basics. Started, and I want to just say thank you everybody for coming on. Depending on time, how we're doing on time at the end of the presentation, I'll try to open this up to Q&A. But if not, do me a favor. If anything, what would be very helpful is during the course of this presentation, if you have any questions, go ahead and just submit those into the little chat board, and I'll do my best to get those answered either through my presentation or at the end of the presentation. For sure we'll answer those questions. So this is Private Mortgage Lending Basics. I think this is a great time to begin looking at where some of your money is invested in. I know a lot of people have money in the stock market, had a lot of money in the stock market or some money in the stock market. Maybe you've pulled it out. Maybe it's sitting there and you're crossing your fingers hoping it's going up. But what I'm going to do today is just give you some education, some information about private mortgage lending, why I'm such a big believer in it, why my lenders who invest in my company are big believers in it, why my parents, my in-laws, my friends, family members, and myself. This is all that I'm 100%, my eggs are 100% in the real estate basket, with the exception of, some precious metals and other little things like that. But I don't see any reason, in today's day and age, why you wouldn't consider at least putting a small percentage of your investments in private mortgage lending. And if you're new to this, then stay tuned with me. I'm gonna, like I said, I'm just gonna give you a good overall presentation, some information about an investment opportunity that a lot of people don't know about. And why? That's one of the first questions: is why is it that your financial advisors, why is it that other people, in the investment space aren't sharing about what it is that we do here? And I think, it's an interesting question. The reason is because they don't make money off of it. There's no fees involved that they can charge and things like that. So, all right. So first I got to introduce myself. Some of you, I see some names that I don't know, and some people may be watching this via replay or webinar replay in the future. My name is Brant Phillips, and I've been in real estate for almost 13 years now. I've done a few hundred deals. One of my claims to fame is that I bought my first investment property on a credit card while living in an apartment, and I had no money. And my wife and I were in a position where we weren't financially responsible. We were just newlyweds. We had finished paying off student loans. We had finished paying off some credit cards that we had. We were starting a family, and we got to this place in our life and marriage. We did this Dave Ramsey, hey, we're debt free. And then I had this idea to become a real estate investor. And so I leveraged a 0% offer from a credit card company to purchase an investment property as a rental property. I went on that year to buy 10 rental properties while still working a job, and bought them in what is called hard money. If you're not familiar with that, bought them in hard money, which is a high interest short-term loan, refinanced them with the big banks with Fannie Mae loans, went on to, in 2008, there was a limitation. You could only get 10 Fannie Mae loans. And so I couldn't utilize that same structure and that same process anymore, but I wanted to keep investing. I wanted to keep buying. So in 2008, I began putting together partnerships with other investors. And these are people who partnership. We create companies, LLCs. I would do everything that I did. I would go out, find deals, manage rehabs, lease and manage the properties, and do all that type of stuff, and property management, all the kind of ancillary duties that goes along with owning investment property, making sure insurance is intact, and preventative maintenance, all those types of things. And I did that via partnerships. Continued buying houses in 2008 with that structure, and it was great for me and my partners. But I got into 2008 and I was like, man, partnerships are great, but I have to do all the work for about half the return. So decided I wanted to get back to retaining all of the equity in the deals and the cash flow. So I learned about how to raise private money in 2009. I was able to leave my job in 2009 and become a full-time real estate investor. Since that time, I've continued to grow my company. The name of my company, my main company, is Invest Home Pros. You see that down at the bottom. We managed to make it to the Inc. 5000 list several years ago, and we were really blowing and going and growing really, really quickly and growing quite large. But to be quite honest, it was a little too large for my liking. I really didn't enjoy the scaling process and doing having multiple employees, and we have multiple employees, meaning we had about a dozen or so team members. It's a little too much for me, and it was hard to really it wasn't what we wanted to do, what I wanted to take the company. So we've since then stabilized. What we have a motto that we say, small but mighty, and that means that we're a real estate investment company that does about 40 to 50 deals a year. So we've got a full team in place. We've got a full-time agent on board, full-time assistant, acquisitions manager. We've got a social media director for some of my coaching and just publishing pursuits. As you see, I've authored several books. I've got a full-time web developer and an SEO marketing person as well. So that's our team. That's where we're at today. I'm also a licensed agent with eXp Realty. I list all my own properties. I've been on Fox News and been in some publications and things like that. And that's all great and awesome. It's fun. But the reason I do what I do, or reason why I'm doing this presentation, is really teaching people about still a very little, it's a very kind of a quiet secret about private mortgage lending. So a few years ago, I wrote the Private Lender Playbook that basically teaches people so they can learn how to passively invest in real estate as a private mortgage lender, basically teaching other people how to be the bank, right? And so this is a picture of my family. This is why I do what I do. And my wife and I would now have 5 children. Not sure if there's any children hiding behind the couch or anywhere else. That is a joke. I'm not quite sure what is more difficult, flipping hundreds of houses or raising 5 kids. That's still up for debate. So here's a little snapshot of my investing track record. So since I've started in 2007, I've done hundreds of loans, somewhere north of $40 million that we've borrowed and repaid since 2007, or actively repaying. And we've got about $6.5 million right now invested in current properties and projects that are going on. These vary from rental properties, flip properties, owner finance notes. We own an RV park. We own a mobile home park. We are under contract to buy a 51-lot subdivision. We've done some land deals and a commercial property. So that's what we've done over the years. I was asked on a podcast earlier this week, and I've been asked before, similar question. But what I was most proud of since I've been in real estate,